Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another YouTube video. Brighton and Hove Albion have beaten Crystal Palace for the first time in 5 years, and it's the first time that a Brighton manager's won. A new Brighton manager's won anyway, wasn't it, Graham Potter? But look, here we are. Brighton have beaten Crystal Palace. They've got Grimsby Town on Sunday, and who would have thought that we'd be saying that Grimsby Town is going to be such a huge game in the club's history? Now, let's talk about Palace, right? They've actually sacked Patrick Vieira today. At least someone had a last dance, I guess. But hey, look, Wilfried Zaha certainly didn't. Joel Veltman had him in his pocket the whole way through the game. And Brighton and Hove Albion, actually, to be honest with you, although we didn't finish them off with goals, and although we didn't perhaps, get that 5 or 6-0 that Brighton fans would love to see, we wore them down. The style of play that we're playing, the passing, was just absolutely rinsing them apart. When you've got passing that consistent and that precise, and it just wears teams down. I mean, you've seen literally a Pep Guardiola or someone of that nature would describe it as exactly what you would want from your team. I mean, it is the footballing masterclass of Roberto De Zerbi. Andrea Muldera, he's going to be in charge against Grimsby, because obviously now De Zerbi's serving another touchline ban. But to be honest, I don't get this, right? I want to actually talk about the touchline ban thing, because I don't understand why this is a thing. I don't know why he's getting booked for literally disagreeing with the referees. I get that he's a little bit out there and probably not what we've been used to as Brighton fans, but it's not a bad thing, right? He's not wrong. He's not saying anything that's wrong. He's just disagreeing with the decisions, which at times, that decore moment, how on earth did he stay on the pitch? I mean, it's as simple as, that's a red card any day of the week. And he had another one only a couple of minutes afterwards, which easily would have been a red card, and it spoke volumes. He got literally taken off at half time. I mean, if that doesn't say enough, I don't even know what does. Pervis Estupiñán was fantastic, as always. Karim Matoma with a fantastic assist. And Solly March, the man rejuvenated under Roberto De Zerbi. It's a fantastic finish, by the way. I know it's against a 19-year-old goalkeeper who definitely will be kicking himself that he didn't get more on that. He just couldn't seem to reach it, it seemed. Took it first time as well. And I don't know, Roberto De Zerbi's worked miracles with this man. He really has. He's turned him into a different beast. He's shushing the away end as well. He's given him that sort of oomph in personality that I think he's needed as well, and it's so good to see Solly shining. I saw Fatboy Slim, he performed in the Brighton Centre as well. I love that. I think that the fact of Brighton becoming so much more recognised on a bigger scale, Fatboy Slim obviously carrying us, and I think it's great. I think that we're really growing finally as a bit of a community. I think that people are starting to take us seriously, and I've even seen non-Brighton fans on Twitter, on social media, saying Brighton need to be in contention for the top 4 and not Tottenham. I've seen people actually saying their top 4 predictions and genuinely having a Brighton or Newcastle there instead. Now, if that doesn't speak volumes as to how good we've been this year, I really don't know what does. Tottenham obviously do hold the leverage in this, but if we win our next couple of games in hand, we will go above them. And that is against Bournemouth and obviously the biggest game against Newcastle. But as well, on the 1st of April, we also play Brentford, which will be huge, because the last time we had a team which, were right behind us was Fulham. And obviously we all know how that went down. Should have won the game, didn't, ended up losing 1-0 in the last sort of few moments of the game. I actually look at it and I look at the teams above us, and I do put us above them. I think we are better than a lot of these teams. I think we're better than Brentford. I think we're better than Tottenham. I think we're better than Liverpool this season. I think we're better than Chelsea this season. So I look at those teams and I think we should be in and around that top 4. I think realistically, yes, Manchester United have been good this year, Manchester City obviously too, and Arsenal. I think that those are the only 3 teams, realistically, that I would say are better than us this season. Now, I want to take it away a little bit. Let's talk about Jason Steele, because he had another great game in goal. And I know that people are saying it's a bit of a casual thing. It's a bit of a casual take to say that Jason Steele's better than Robert Sanchez. Now, I'm not saying he is, but Roberto De Zerbi at the moment clearly does think he is. And I've got to give credit where it's due to Jason Steele. He's been fantastic. I mean, the saves he's been making have been vital, as well as his play with the ball at his feet. And now this is something that perhaps, particularly under De Zerbi, means a lot more. We need to play a lot more narrow in a lot tighter spaces. Now, Caicedo, Estupiñán are kings at this. Levi Colwill back is a great sign. Lewis Dunk as well. These sort of key players playing these passes are so important for Roberto De Zerbi, because for the likes of Karim Matoma, Solly March, Evan Ferguson, Danny Welbeck, they need to have that almost perfect killer pass to be able to make the runs and make the chances that they do. Now, Karim Matoma is the king at creating chances. We all know that, right? He's fantastic at coming forward. He's fantastic at taking players on, and he's even better at playing forward a very, very good weighted pass. Now, this is one thing that I've really noticed about the likes of Levi Colwill and Matoma. The weight of pass is almost perfect every single time. Say we did have the opportunity to sign Levi Colwill. I know he's being offered a new deal at Chelsea, but I would honestly, if I was Tony Bloom, I would break the bank for that man. I think he's a fantastic player. He's only 20 years old. He's shown so much promise. I mean, if we did get into a top 6, top 4 spaces, I'd spend 50 million on Levi Colwill without even a shadow of a doubt. And I know that could be bold, but I honestly would. I think I rate him that highly. I think he's fantastic. But yes, these weight of passes are fantastic. The way we're playing it at the moment is fantastic. Now, against Crystal Palace, yes, we only scored 1. Probably could have scored a couple more, but I think we almost tried to see the game out in a different way. You could tell the fans were getting frustrated, and I don't blame them, to be honest. I mean, if I was a Palace fan on the other end of that, it is hard to watch. It is really hard to watch because I don't feel for them because it's our rivals, because that would be wrong to say I feel for them, but I get the frustration. I mean, they didn't really have a kick in the game. Never once really Brighton fans took them as a threat. The only reason that people were taking them as a threat was just because of past experience. They had a few chances in the first half, but realistically, never once in that second we really feared them, to be honest. And it goes to show the levels. I mean, people really doubted the Zerbi when he came in. He plays too attacking and we're going to be leaking goals left, right and centre. And it's just really not been the case at all. And our defence has been so solid. Lewis Dunk, as we've already mentioned, how on earth he's not got an England call-up is beyond me. I do not understand for the life of me how he can possibly be rated below the likes of Eric Dyer, Tyrone Mings, Connor Cody. Those sorts of players, I actually don't know if Mings is in there, I could be wrong in that, but those sorts of players have been called up over him. I don't get it. Solly March as well, fantastic. I just think we're, as a team at the moment, it's so good to watch. And as I say, coming up against the Grimsby side, which we should be beating realistically. I mean, let's be honest, you can't lie about it. I see some Brighton fans trying to play it cool, being like, no, we can't just be saying we should be beating them because that's what we were once. I get it, but at the same time, come on now. Our team, we're top 4 in the country realistically on how good we are. We can't be looking at a Grimsby or even a Crystal Palace and be worried. We need to be taking ourselves that much more seriously. You would like to think that this is the moment where we're going to Wembley for the second time in our history, at least this new Wembley anyway. And if we cast our minds back to 2019, what a moment that was. What a day it was as well. The memories flooding back. As soon as you mentioned Wembley 2019, I'm sure many Brighton fans, if not most of them watching this video, will have been there and will be remembering the incredible moments. And actually comment below what your sort of favourite moment of that Wembley was. I look back on it and I think the way we created our own little atmosphere there, Manchester City fans are pretty much dead silent. They weren't happy to be there at all. I can get it because they go there five times a year, but reality says we outsung them the whole way through. The last time we were in an FA Cup final was 40 years ago this year against Manchester United, 1983. Everyone knows how it went down. Now, obviously, it did go to a replay and Brighton got battered 4-0 with the Smith must score moment in the game beforehand, which still, to this day, no one will ever understand. Now look, I wasn't alive to see it, but I could imagine the frustration. But hey, look, expected goals in our DNA since day one, let's put it that way. But what we can say is there's a very good chance we get there again this season. And to be able to get to Wembley in a final of an FA Cup against Manchester United exactly 40 years on, you would like to think that almost the footballing gods will be looking over in this moment. And I think that to be able to win an FA Cup in this club's history would be probably the biggest moment ever. I think that, you know, despite people perhaps not taking the FA Cups as seriously as they used to, I think it still holds its value. It's still the magic of the FA Cup. And I think particularly for clubs of our stature at the moment, an FA Cup means everything. And as I said in my last video, enjoy these moments. You can't not enjoy these moments. Enjoy them. Have a beer. Do whatever you want. Have a bit of fun, because this is the very best of Brighton and Hove Albion at the moment. And yes, Andrea Moldera could be the one in charge against Grimsby, but look, we know that everyone in this club is good at what they do, and that is probably the most reassuring thing. At no point do I doubt pretty much anything at Brighton at the moment. If there's a bold decision, if there's something that needs to be done, that's fine with me. If they think it, I agree, because to be honest with you, I don't have any reason to doubt the likes of the Zerbi, the likes of Moldera, the likes of Tony Bloom, etc. I just trust that they're going to do the right thing, and most often than not, they do. Anyway, that's been a really good video to film actually. That sort of 10 minutes has just absolutely flown by for me, but I hope you have enjoyed and you feel the same about that as well. And make sure you like, comment, subscribe and good all that good stuff as well. And yeah, follow my socials at Ryan Adser, and I'll see you probably after Grimsby Town, which could be a massive, massive moment in the club's history. And yeah, until then, see ya. I could almost recreate the exact moment that was where I just came in and I was a bit like...
Oh, that's hot. That's hot.
The last time we were in an FA Cup final was back in 2000 and... No, it wasn't. What am I doing?